Guys, how we doing? What's happening? Welcome to today's show. It is a post-game, analysis is what we're calling this thing as the Browns drop their sixth game of the season, now 2-6, 32-13. And, you know, I kind of think about what to say for some of these, and it's hard to come up with the correct assessment. But Brad, go ahead and tell us your initial thoughts, and then I'll try to formulate a decent answer.
I kind of have a bunch of streaming thoughts right now. It feels like some players have quit. Jerry Jeudy feels like he quit.
There were 2 targets to the wide receivers all day in the game. I think that you can only run so much cardio in this is the same thing that Eagles are dealing with AJ Brown. It's wild to me. I didn't have anything to say that I want to respond right away. It's wild to me that you can run an offense where wide receivers don't get targets. It's a byproduct of the quarterback. It's a byproduct of his ability to see portions of the football field necessary to find success. Do I think Jerry Jeudy's been very good? Does he deserve targets? Is there a whole bunch of caveats? Brad, I know, but this offense doesn't incorporate wide receivers, and whether you want to go chicken before the egg or however you want to go about that, they're not good enough to get targets or whatever. You can't run an offense where you only target tight ends in running backs. You just can't live in that world in the league, or it's easy to defend. I don't disagree with you that guys have quit. That was just an instance to me in my mind of that's why this offense is broken. A large part of it is the guys that play with wide receiver position are just out there just meandering around in the secondary because the football is never thrown to them, or when it is thrown to them, it's some goofball 50-yard throw when he's double covered, or it's just how does an NFL offense operate that can't find a way to get the football to wide receivers? Are these guys running around with 8 toes, they can't cut? I'm trying to solve some of this on the fly. It's laughable. It's laughable at this point how backward all of this stuff is.
Well, I guess where I can trace this to and where we kind of got to today in the game is going all the way back to the decision to draft Dylan Gabriel with a 3rd round pick. To me at this point, after watching, they've given him 4 games now.
This would be game 4. Yep.
Game 4. He's 5'8". He has no elite traits. It took every ounce of his strength in his body to throw the ball 40 yards down the field, which is underthrown on a deep ball in the NFL. They're all underthrown. And it takes every ounce of his strength to get him down there when he does throw him down there. And the only time he threw it down there, the guy was in bracketed coverage. I've seen enough of Gabriel to think that, I just don't know what. I didn't like the pick when they took him. I don't think he's a 3rd round caliber draft pick. I think he's more like a 6th or 7th round caliber draft pick. This is what they wanted to put this is what they wanted to put their asset into and base the offense around for this season. That's a bad decision. It's egregious. It's malpractice. He's not good. He can't be a starting NFL quarterback. He has no starting NFL quarterback traits. You watched a guy across the field from you today that has all of it, right? And he has none of it, Jake. And the offense is, I'm sure it's not been good from Stefanski, but Dylan is terrible. He's terrible. He's terrible.
Yeah, I don't have anything to stay positive about around that. I mean, there's a video I put out last week that has people on both sides of the fence in terms of the debate of whether he was good or not and how harsh we're being about it or not being harsh enough. I thought the process was awful last week. I understand they scored 31 points, but that was a bad offense last week. And the scoreboard masked it because you get a pick 6, you get a short, a 2-yard field and a whole bunch of stuff there. And I don't know how to articulate it any other way. They are in the year 2025 in an offense that cannot find a way to get receivers the football, that cannot find a way to run the football from under center, cannot find the way to run the football from the gun. outside of the opening script, which had a fortuitous blown coverage on a simple drag route on 3rd and 1,000,000. They did find one competent play I liked, which is the fullback insert on that touchdown throw where Fannon's uncovered. It's a nice concept where you're, running the fullback through the middle and then putting him up on a corner route on the right side. But I mean, guys, I don't know anymore. I mean, like, you can't live in a world where, and it's not like Flacco was lighting the world on fire with these receivers either, but he was certainly more interested, let's put it that way, in throwing the wide receivers the football. We're not getting any of that at this point.
Nothing.
And I understand that this is not the most talented group in the league. The bigger thing is, like, I think a lot of people want to try to separate certain things in all of this. Like, is Kevin fired? Is Andrew? I don't know how you can look at this offense and give Kevin or Andrew any more blame. Like, in a year where you clearly needed to draft as much offense as you possibly could, like, this group was not good enough coming into the year. You had an idea, and I understand, like, coming into the year, some of us will try to give you previews and paint it as brown and orange as we possibly can, as optimistic as we can. But you knew, or you should know, that you were bereft of talent across the board, and you chose a defensive tackle 5th, who I like Mason. I like Carson Schlesinger, but you don't have NFL talent on offense in all the main positions. And then you decide also, we're going to draft 2 quarterbacks, one of which in the 3rd round you could have used. I mean, I don't know. I
Anything. That's my point.
I don't know. Like, I understand you need to take swings at quarterback. I totally get it. But the history of this being on your side is so low with 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks. And the only ones who usually find that success are the ones that arrive in a situation where the offense lifts them up. They don't have that here. And if you couldn't see that, then what the hell are you taking these guys for? Because they can't be propped up by the bunch of dog shit that's surrounding them on this offense. And the team doesn't prop them up. The offensive line has gotten worse. The wide receiver group's gotten worse and has already been fragile. So, like, I just am trying to understand how you could think, let's take a 3rd and 5th round pick, which needs every single thing in their favor to help them. And, like, you have nothing in place to help them. So I don't understand. It's the most back-assward way. I'm sorry for cussing. I usually don't cuss. But it's the most backward approach to solving quarterback. Because if you go into it like, hey, maybe we can get a random outcome, like a Brock Purdy type outcome.
Yeah.
Go look at the offense Brock Purdy played in and who he was with and the guys propping him up and the talent alleviating the burden and the play caller that was really good at it. And then
he's 8 times the player Gabriel is. And that goes to evaluation as well.
I'm with you. But, like, even in this scenario, I don't even know that we have to do that because, like, I think if you took Dylan Gabriel and put him with Shanahan and put him in that scenario as a 7th, he could have probably found some success too. Like, I'm just saying, maybe not as good as Brock here because Brock's obviously underdrafted. But what I'm getting at is, like, how can you expect Shedeur, who we haven't even seen, he can't stay healthy, not even playing in real football games, it seems. So, like, if Shedeur gets a chance, or, like, I just don't understand the thought process of, like, these guys were going to, like, solve this offense, or they're not even giving these guys a fair opportunity to get an NFL run in them. Like, if you're like, well, they kind of view Dylan as a long-term backup. So you're selecting backup. Let me tell you this. So you're going into that moment of selecting in the top 100 and you have so many holes in offense. And you're thinking, this guy could maybe be a long-term backup for us. That's the most likely case. I understand you're not finding a bunch of starters inside the top 100. I understand that. But, like, you are ignoring the fact that you are bereft of talent all across this offense. And you went into this year thinking you get, or the other end of this, which is all of this stuff I'm saying is just nonsense because they are tanking. And that, based on what Jimmy Haslam said the other day, as far as being patient with Kevin, we believe in him. We had this. They're tanking. I'm done with. They're tanking, Brad. They're tanking. That's it. They are actively tanking without saying they're tanking. What other reason? What other justifications, Brad, do you have for this? Because there's no other way you can go about the stuff that's going on the field,
But
like
but
from a
here's
common sense perspective.
yes, I agree. Here's my issue though, is that I don't think they said this offseason when they drafted Dylan Gabriel and said, hey, we might get a backup future quarterback with the 80 whatever pick in the draft, which is terrible process, awful process. You don't draft a backup quarterback in the 3rd round of the draft. That's absurd.
Even if you're tanking, even if you're tanking, you can find Bailey Zappi to start games for you.
Anybody. It's ridiculous. It's shitty process. It's shitty picking. It's a terrible use of assets. It's not okay. It's awful. And then, you put this out in front of this fan base. So you just think
I know. It's tanking, Brad. I think we need to stop thinking.
You think in the offseason they knew coming in that they wanted to lose this year?
I think that they had what other justification can it be for all the things you and I are sitting here saying make no sense?
Bad decision making. I think it's bad process and bad decision making on this team. I don't think they wanted to come in here and let's convince Batonio to come back. If they were tanking, why would you would say, Joel, go away, go retire, whatever. Like, we need to get another guard ready. You're wasting time with these guys. Like, you would have, you know what I mean? Like, if you were really tanking, some of these guys wouldn't even be here.
Let's put it this way. They're probably just bad at tanking because you had to know the range of outcomes that they were going to find, that this was in the range of outcomes. There's no way. We're stupid, okay? We're idiots behind a screen talking. We could see where this was headed. So other than like, I think there's a world where you think maybe we can start Joe, we can have some vets, we can muster up an offense, and we can play really good defense, and maybe we'll be better than we think. Maybe the division will stink. Ironically enough, the division does stink, and you would have had a shot. But the offense is so I think it's probably a mixed bag. I think it's a little bit of like, we're comfortable with the outcome of this season being bad, simultaneous to like, we'll see, we'll dip our toes in the water and see if we can compete. That's the only place I can arrive. I don't know, Brad. All of this is so stupid. I hate these. It is. I hate these things because you're right, dude. They made a ton of awful choices. I would rather have a wide receiver at pick 94 where they took Dylan, because you have a chance for that guy to at least maybe develop into a Kayshon Boutte type player or something. It's just like, how can you take quarterbacks in 3rd and 5th round, also recognizing that you simultaneously are going to have to take one the following season because you're going to draft it? Those are 2 picks that at the best, if you get a quarterback that you think you're tanking for, right? If you go get a quarterback, you think you're tanking for a quarterback. These 2 picks at the best outcome are going to be backups. Yeah. So like, quit wasting our time. Like, quit wasting time. It's the same with some of these offensive linemen that they've let stick around. And like, you've got Zenter who can't find, and I don't even know if Zenter sucks. Maybe he's terrible. He can't get active. I'd like to know more about Tevin Jenkins. I'd like to know some answers to this stuff, but like, I'm just trying to make sense of all of these choices. As Kevin says, he's sticking with Dylan out of the bye week. This looks like
he tanking. That's what he said
in the post game. It looks like tanking.
He can't.
To me,
if he does that, he can't do that.
He said it, Brad. I don't know if he will do it, but he said it. But I'm just saying, like, this looks like tanking to me without doing it 100% the right way. I just like.
He's also waffling on play calling again, Jake.
I've said it for a million times here that when Shedeur starts, he'll give up play calling. Same thing he did with Jameis starting last year. He gave up play calling so that I don't know if he said that. Did you see that somewhere?
Like it's like, I don't want anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah, well, when it gets really bad, that's what he did last year. He gave it up and let Dorsey call offense for Jameis Winston starts. I
agree with you that maybe they're tanking, right? It's fine. But here's my thing. I think tanking and sweeping it like under the tanking rug of like, this team is awful and like they're tanking. They just don't want, like, I feel like that's giving them some grace they don't deserve, because there's been bad decisions, bad selection. You fielded an awful team again on offense. No matter what you're running, it doesn't look like you're like developing wide receivers or anything like that, with this offense. So saying that it's tanking and it looks like this, like, what do we have to hang our hats on? I mean, yeah, we've got a good, decent rookie class. Okay, that's fine. But I feel like saying it's tanking is like almost like making an excuse for some really shitty process.
Yeah. There's.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. I do.
It's
I
bad
don't know.
process.
I just don't know what
Okay,
to say anymore.
well, they're just tanking. Whoa. I mean,
listen,
no,
the contract
they have
situation,
to try to win. He should have to try to win to keep his job this year, Jake.
The thing that makes me think that they couldn't tank the way you traditionally tank is because they went about the Deshaun Watson decision and put themselves in a really hard spot financially with rollover money and void years. That some of these deals you can't remove, some of these decisions you can't overwrite. So, like, yeah, they want to tank and they know they need a quarterback to get where they want to go. They need more assets to get where they want to go, but they can't, like, if I'm saying, hey, they're bad at tanking, like they should have reset a bunch of these things and just gone about the year with young players, et cetera, et cetera. They can't because of the contracts they've signed and the money that's being rolled and the void years they've put in place. So when the Watson trade absolutely demolishes your contention window you perceived yourself to have, then you're in a damn bind. We don't have enough talent offensively. We don't have enough answers at quarterback. Now we're screwed because we can't just come off of things the way we think we can. They've shown if they can come off of some guys that have contracts that they didn't sign. Greg Newsom's a rookie deal. They'll do it. They'll come off of some of these guys. But like, I think it's not the most white and black tank because the contract structures they put in place for what they perceived to be a title window. And now they're living in both worlds because they have to live in both worlds because of the bind they've put themselves in, which is no one's fault other than their own, which to me is why Jimmy keeps saying, we made a bad trade. We made an awful trade that's really set everybody back, which is what he said to Diana Rossini.
So I'm going to post this. Can you just mention it about Stefanski? But let's be honest. The cap isn't restrictive.
It depends on what you mean.
They have managed his cap, Watson's cap, every year so far. They've redone it in a way that has allowed them to spend more cash on players than every other team in the NFL.
Right. Yes, which is true. But if they do that for like 10 guys, if you want to get out of Teller, you want to get out of Batonio, you want to get out of all these veterans, then
but let's not pretend that Watson is restricting them from fielding a good team because he's not yet. It hasn't hit them yet.
I think the Watson thing is more of like, what I'm getting at is the Watson thing has set the quarterback thing back. Like it broke the quarterback thing, which broke the contention window that they thought they had.
But they're not cap restricted. They're not money restricted in any way. Let's not pretend like they can't go out and sign free agents because they can.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting at, maybe I'm not explaining this clearly enough. They can't reset the way everyone would like them to tear it down and reset.
I'm just saying, like, there's people in the chat saying the cap is restricting what they can do, and that's not accurate. They've situated the cap in a way where they have plenty of money to spend.
Well, yeah, they put themselves in a position where all they can do is spend the rollover that they've put, which is not the solution to their issue. Like they have a quantity or quality issue, not a quantity issue. So like, again, to me, they can't reset it the way you would like. Cause they like, everything's fine and dandy. The credit card bill is going to come due for them. So like, if the credit card bill is going to come due for them, you can't reset it as quick as you would like to reset it. Like it's going to take multiple years to reset it. It's
not though. If they carry Watson through 26, it's going to be fine. It's going to spread out the same every year. They have a handle on it all. They should be able to compete in this window. Like
it's not just about Watson, Brad. It's about all these guys.
I get all of them.
I'm saying if you want them to come off of all the veterans, if you want them to, I know what I'm getting at though is if you want them to come off all of them, you can't You
I
can
know
only
that.
take on so much dead money. They've screwed themselves. Their approach to this, they're punting the void years, the things they do that Philly is doing to run out the cap because they're in a contention window. The Browns can't just do that. Like,
I'm
I'm
not
blaming
arguing with
them.
you on that.
Okay, then I don't know what we're arguing at all then, because what I'm saying is they can't do a reset. So they're trying to do a reset without actually doing a reset because they've screwed themselves over so bad that they cannot do a traditional tank. That is, to me, the
And I
only
get
thing
that.
that makes sense. That's it.
You think they should act? See, I disagree. I don't want them to tear it all the way down to the studs
Well, it's a good
and
thing you
go
don't want
as
it because they can't do it.
young as possible. Okay, because I think getting rid of guys like Delpit and Ward, because I think you could turn it around in 2-3 years when these guys are still around. Like, you
Maybe.
still have a lot of
Maybe.
talent on this roster on the defensive side of the ball. You are void of all talent on the offensive side of the ball. But that is there are decisions that could have been made differently that impact this team in a major way. And those decisions they have missed on over and over and over, is what I'm saying. It's like there have been a lot of decisions that could have come out differently that would have them in a different their offense would look different going forward. And I think that, like, saying, oh, they're cap restricted and they're tanking is like bailing them out on the bad decisions that they've made, where they could be in a better spot right now going forward.
If they could, if they were competing or if they were tanking cleanly on either side of this, it would, the issue, the reason they're screwed right now is because they're in the middle of it. They're also simultaneously they're acting like title contenders, but they also can't tank to get rid of assets that you like. Hey, trade these guys for picks or whatever. Like, I don't even know why we're doing this. We don't even need to keep doing this. I think it's abundantly obvious where they're screwed on certain spots. That,
I just want to explain this to people, though, because people don't understand. It's not going to be an $80 million cap hit next year. Everybody wants to say this, but they don't want to understand it. If they choose, okay, if they cut Watson after this year in March, first day of league year, and name him post June 1st, yeah, then they'll take 45 and an $80 million cap hit. But they're not going to do that. They're going to carry him all the way through the 26th season. I guarantee it. I'll bet you right now that they carry him all the way through the 26th season, and they have that extra void year that they build into it, and they'll cut him on day 1, March of 27, which will spread it out through 28, and it'll end up being like 53, 32, 20-something is what the numbers will look like. And they're not going to take an $80 million cap hit at one time. They have it planned out. That's why he restructured it. They're never going to take an $80 million cap hit. It's all very... Please go read Duffin's stuff on it. He has laid it out very clearly how they're going to do this. They have this planned out. It is not restrictive to their cap because of the cash that Jimmy makes available to them to spend.
Yeah, I don't. No offense, and anyone talking about this in the I don't give a shit. Like, I just don't care about Watson's like the whole. It's not just a Watson issue. They do this for every player. So the issue is you cannot do this for 25 effing players and then also be like, hey, why are they not like doing the tanking thing in full force? Because they can't. Joel wants his money. He doesn't want to walk away from it yet. Guys want their money. They want to play. They can't be traded. That's the problem with Miles that people don't understand. He wanted to be traded. He wanted out. They couldn't trade him because they couldn't field a team because of their situations, their decisions. This is not like Miles is untradeable if he was in a normal team's cap structure. It's not the case. We watched Micah Parsons. We've watched guys with newer deals get traded all the time. It's because Miles is in a team that ties the cap into the future all the time. That's how they work. They push it down the line and they structure it in a way that you can't do this. That's why it's usually a strategy used by teams who are contending and in contention windows. Because when you're resetting your roster and you have to pay the big tax bill or credit card bill, it doesn't matter because you're resetting and gathering assets. But the Browns are in the middle of it. They're not at the end of it yet. They're in the middle of it. So they can, I know, because you've read and we're well researched on this, but I'm talking to everybody else. They're in the middle of it. So they can't do that yet. And they just did it with Miles because Miles said, hey, here's what happened. I want out of Cleveland. Screw these guys. I'm done here. Well, hey, Miles, as your agent, you're not getting traded. They can't do it. Here's why they can't do it. What do you want to do about it? Well, I'll just take the guaranteed next contract that gives me money until I'm 34 years old, whatever. So they can't tank in the traditional sense where every single decision is geared toward tanking.
The future.
Yes. But they also have to know that they've screwed themselves. Their own decisions. It's not a bed they're laying in that somebody else made for them. Their own decisions have put them in a place that they have to go out and do some things and tank without tanking, because you don't trade Joe Flacco unless you tank without telling your guys we're tanking. That's the message. That's all of these bits, all of these things added together. It's not just one decision on Joe Flacco. It's all of this added together. They've punted on the season. They know what's at stake. They're going to keep starting Dylan Gabriel because it's like DTR's days. You're not winning games with him. I have an issue like you do, Brad, of like, hey, if you were looking into the future, why wouldn't you just have put a sacrificial body like Kenny Pickett in front of this thing and just run it out for the whole year and not wasted a 3rd and 5th round pick that maybe long shot, I understand, could have been a player who mattered to you in the next phase of this whole thing?
Yeah.
That is the process issue I have. I think that like I simultaneously can see both sides of the argument where it's like, hey, man, keep throwing assets at your quarterback issue. I'm with that. If you have enough talent to help a quarterback when he arrives into this situation, not do what they've tried to do with these guys. Like, so I just am like, I just am so over this season because we're having conversations like this. They're living with their feet across both sides of the line. They made a process failure in their quarterback decision once again by thinking like, how could you expect guys with flaws? Essentially every quarterback has flaws when they come into the league, but guys taken beyond pick 50, brother, they got warts. Okay. How could you take them, him and Shedeur, maybe even just one? I could like, okay, one of them. I get it. The 5th round pick. I get it, right? Dylan Gabriel, 5th round pick. I would have gotten it. How can you take a guy in the top 100 who, and even Shedeur again later after you've already taken one?
Well, Shedeur makes sense to me because that's like a roll of the dice with a 5th round pick on a guy that most people had a 2nd round.
It doesn't make sense to me after you've already taken Gabriel and you're so bereft of talent, Brad. You traded multiple picks to go up and get him. Just take him in the 3rd round then. Just take him right there. What are you doing? You've already taken a quarterback. This is the process failure stuff I'm talking about.
I guess.
It's
but
awful.
The guy, I think the process failure is taking Gabriel at all.
Sure, but then trading more assets to go back up in the 5th round to get Shedeur is overwhelmingly shitty.
The swing on Shedeur is a more legitimate swing than the one on Gabriel for me.
I just don't care. Like, I don't care. I think once you've already taken Gabriel, which we obviously agree is a process failure, like,
well, it's not so much. First of all, you should have. The problem for me is the actual pick of the player. If you want to take a swing on a quarterback,
I know.
That's fine.
I've agreed with you on that. But what I'm saying is then taking the player in the 5th after you've taken a guy in the 3rd into a rubbish situation.
A ceiling that you can find out about. Like,
I mean, I think people are swinging way too hard on that, but whatever. I get like
a lot of people had
like,
2nd round grades on him, late 1st round grades on him before he fell in the draft.
I just guess I don't care. If you liked the quarterback in the 3rd,
I mean, we got to find a quarterback.
Take
somewhere.
Shedeur in the 3rd. Brad, that's what I'm talking about. Take him in the 3rd round then. Like, take him in the 3rd. If you want to believe in him, take him in the 3rd. Like, don't take a quarterback, then go back and take another quarterback and make the whole situation shittier. Because now you have another quarterback who's got all the media attention of the entire universe on him, and a guy you took in the 3rd who has no chance because they think that everyone thinks that he's getting catered to all the time. I just think that, like, the process failure of taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round is awful, right? Like, I get it. But also then taking Shedeur in the 5th round is stupid because these guys are not solutions. Like, they are plug and play, lift them up players. No matter whether Shedeur was a late 1st or an early 2nd or a 5th rounder or an undrafted free agent, they need to be like, the Browns' failure to recognize how bad their own unit is is awful. Like, it's awful. I don't care if you put any quarterback out there, it's not going to be good enough right now. It's not. There's no talent. There's nothing there. It's not all quarterback failure. I'm breaking this stuff down every play of the year. It's a lot of guys that are awful on this offense. So, like,
that's
I
fair.
just am like, why are you spending 2 picks on quarterbacks that have historically Dak is a rookie, Russell Wilson is a rookie. These guys who were those picks who have found some sort of success over a period of time are because the offense has propped them up. That's not, you don't lean on these guys. So, like, on top of all that stuff, dude, on top of all that stuff, this is something that the 49ers couldn't even do because they didn't even have first round picks with Purdy because they traded him away for Lance. Excuse me, is that, like, they're going to just draft another guy next year. And they pretty much knew that. So, like, if you knew that and you kind of were like, well, we're probably going to tank, not be very good. We got two picks so that we can use those 2 picks to go up and get our guy in next year's draft. Then why are you wasting energy on 2 backups when your offense is awful? They're awful. You don't have enough talent.
I guess I'm not
justified.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Select talent with the 3rd round pick. I don't care if you roll the dice on a 5th round pick because that's not going to solve your problems on the offense.
No, it's not. But I'm pissed about using the 5th round pick when you've already used one on a quarterback already. That's a dumb process.
I'm just
Teams
saying,
don't take 2 quarterbacks like that. Like, it's just the dumbest thing.
I agree. Don't take 2 quarterbacks. Just don't take Gabriel because he's 5'8" and he doesn't have any traits. That's my point. Why put if that's your pick, that's a dumb pick because you took somebody that you think might be a backup in the long term with a 3rd round pick, which is asinine process. Rolling the dice on Shedeur.
Yes, I'm with you. Separating
makes
the, like,
more sense.
Should you select Dylan Gabriel versus should you select Shedeur Sanders is very vanilla. I think it's pretty obvious that was wrong. I'm just kind of like then building on top of the process of failing to recognize, like,
you're just creating a mess of stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like, if you are in this situation where you took Dylan, you believed in him, they've come out and said, we identified him in the process, blah, 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 blah. And then you take Shedeur with all of the noise that all the noise that Shedeur brings into it. I'm just like, how can you ever think these decisions are fine? I don't know, man. I think obviously, some people who we understand that he's 5'11" in the media guide. I think we're upset. Brad's being a little hyperbolic. It's all good. It's just whatever. Like, I don't really care. We don't really care. He's shorter than standard quarterbacks. Okay. So, like,
I was being hyperbolic about what?
The 5'8" stuff. That's what they're picking on. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. We don't even need to deal with it.
He is 5'8", isn't he?
He's listed at 5'11" from the combine. That's what he tested at the combine. You get in front of it, you take your shoes off, you stand with your back against the wall. Yeah, I mean, it's an official thing.
He looks like he's 5'9" when he's walking around next to guys that are listed 5'11".
Yeah, you put him around big guys, he doesn't look very big, no doubt. I just am like, we've lost it on this show. I mean, for the game, what does it matter if they lose? They're 9-7.5. I like the early drives. They played some decent defense in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the game.
Yeah, they ended up giving up 3 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. Whereas I felt New England came out of the half with a clear plan of, like, hey, man, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put the ball on the perimeter. They can't defend the perimeter run. We're going to keep making them test it. We're going to put them in the play action scenarios that put them, like, they had a clear, Josh McDaniels had a clear coming out of halftime plan. They executed it. Easy touchdown after the Browns punted on 3 plays. Browns go 2 of 11 on 3rd down. It's not even like New England was better on 3rd downs. They're 3 of 11, but they're way more successful in the earlier, portions of downs, right? So, I don't know. So it's 30-7 after the 3rd quarter. And
when you look at New England's offense, I guess they're better on the offensive line, right?
Certainly playing better. I don't know, like, if you line them up in talent for talent. Will Campbell's he got eaten alive today.
But, like, Drake May is the difference. I mean, Diggs is not what he was once anymore. He was okay today. He wasn't like a world beater. Butte has some talent, but he's like a project that came along at you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying they're not loaded with talent on offense either, but May has made the difference.
He's a really good quarterback, which is what you need.
Yeah. Which is ultimately what the Browns have to get.
The Browns,
but the Browns also be a conversation we continue to have year in and year out.
They're not getting their guys. Again, you line them up next to each other. I mean, I think we can look at the group of Pop Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, and Stephon Diggs and say, hey, that's not a great wide receiver room in the NFL.
No.
That's a hell of a lot better than what the Browns are playing with right now, though. This just is. Isaiah Bond is lost. Judy is fallen off the cliff this year. And again, some of that's coaching like stuff. I get that, right?
I'd rather see Corley and Thrash than Bond at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I mean, I guess they want him to develop Jake, but like there's some stuff there that you can use him for deep shots and stuff, but like sending him on these over the middle routes and stuff, he doesn't catch the ball well in traffic.
He doesn't even play the game with tempo. Like he doesn't ever have his head around. He doesn't know when to be looking for the ball, let alone, finishing a play, catching the football through contact, those sorts of things. Yeah, man. The Patriots know who they are, and it is, it's not all the quarterback, but it's a lot of it. Drake is a good football player. Now, I didn't even think he played that well today, especially the first half was kind of uneven from him. He did have a great third quarter, but yeah, I mean, listen, you get Drake. That's what the Browns have to do. They have to get a guy. They have to get a Drake May. They've got to. It's the only solution to this stuff. It's the only solution. You got to find that. And I don't know if there'll be one in this year's draft. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. But that's the situation they've put themselves in, is they need a quarterback like Drake who you can look at the supporting cast and the offense around him and be like, that's not a great skill set. That's not a great, but he makes it work. He does, enough with his legs, enough with his, processing accuracy to get out of situations, get the football thrown quickly. That's it. They need an elevator.
Had a good plan.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's a shitty head coach, but he's a great designer of an offense. Just always has been. Always has been.
Browns came out first drive really well scripted. Got Fannin open on 2 wide open looks, which appears to be the only passes that Gabriel can complete are those ones where he's running butt naked down the field, right? So Fannin gets in, right?
Vrabel noted after the game, when they ran out of the gimmick plays, we thought our defense played pretty well. So when they got out of the scripted stuff, take that comment for what it's worth, but that's what he said. Also, Carson Schlesinger, high ankle sprain, 4 to 6 weeks is the timeline typical for that.
4 to 6, really?
Yeah.
Ouch.
It was rough.
That's gonna be rough for this defense. Miles with a franchise record-breaking 5-sack day, furious at the end of the day. I did want to say, if Shmi makes the field goal to go, they'd be going into halftime 10-9, and if you don't come out of the half and just like the 3 and outs, man, where you're not even trying to get a first down, like you don't throw the ball past the sticks one time. You know what I mean? In 3 attempts.
I didn't expect there to be a situation where this would be as hard to watch as some of the Dorian Thompson-Robinson starts, but we're there.
It's not even, I thought they would at least be able to like try to push the ball down the field for, and get some first downs and put together a drive and scheme something up. But, New England was good enough to just stop the run game completely. And when they do that, there's 0 answers in the pass game, and if it's not Fannin or Njoku.
Yep. Yeah, there's 422 yards allowed on defense. Another example of a team identifying the weaknesses of the group, perimeter run game, how they handle specific play action looks, and picked on them throughout. This is a defense that can be a pretty good one, but they're not elite. Just to be clear, they're not elite, and I think you can put some of that on the process of the coordinator. You can put some of that on the talent if you'd like to, but it's not an elite group. So not good enough today, allowing, like I said, 422 yards. And when the offense, though, is historically bad. It's historically bad. And
Devin Bush does a front flip for some reason to get out of the way of a hit. I understand he's trying to avoid a hit. I don't know if a front flip was necessary, and puts his own player in concussion protocol. Tyson Campbell. Kicked him right in the head.
Yeah, and then there was another self-injury as Isaiah McGuire rolled up on Schlesinger. So
Yep. Yeah. We're hurting ourselves on defense. But the game should have been 10-9. You should have come out in the second half with a plan to get down the field and try to put some points on the board and make this a game that keeps your defense alive. Miles was playing with his hair on fire. I mean, he was playing a hell of a game. You were at least, when the game was close, you were at least forcing them to try to do some different things on offense, and you were getting them in some third and longs and getting off the field. And then as soon as the game separated, it was like, so did the defense. The defensive dam broke at that point, where they were making some plays up to that point. The Schlesinger interception and then to get 0 points. Yeah. I don't know.
This is rough, dude. 9 carries, 19 yards for Judkins. I wasn't doing this for the Kevin Hogan, Hugh Jackson era stuff, not the level I'm doing it now. And I'm sure there were examples of this over the last decade, 2 decades. But guys, watching this offense is awful. It's so freaking bad to watch. I can't do it. I can't keep doing it. It is hilariously under level. Like, I am not. It's going to probably be some people who laugh at me on this because they think the levels between college and the NFL are so bad. I'm not convinced you could put this offense at the college level and find consistent success against like big time programs. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm talking about, like, you would think that they would blow out the best, like put this against Ohio State's defense, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Do you think they'd score 35, 40 points against Ohio State's defense? I'm just curious. Because a bunch of those guys on Ohio State's defense are going to be in the league next year. Downs and Reese and Styles and Igmanosin and guys up front. I'm just like,
yeah,
but I don't. I really don't. I really don't believe it.
I mean, the Dolphins turned around and went and beat Atlanta, the brakes off Atlanta this week after we just beat them 31-6.
Can you see Dylan Gabriel throwing 4 touchdowns in a game in the NFL this year?
In the NFL?
Yeah. Because that's what you're saying. That's what Tua did today. He threw 4.
I mean, in garbage time, maybe. Threw 2 today.
Yeah, I guess. The garbage time gets long enough when the game's over early enough. Maybe he can. Maybe he can. I'm just saying, like,
the opportunity to, because they should be starting Shedeur out of the bye, no question, hands down. Like, it's. I mean, what else are we evaluating with him?
I guess my point is, like,
to evaluate with Gabriel,
that I don't have the conviction that they would go out and dominate, say, Ohio State's defense is probably an indication of how bad this offense is. So I don't know. I really don't know. I've never seen a more hopeless group of, like,
Cincinnati lose that game.
They did. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
This division's bad.
Yeah, man. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Listen, I don't know. I just don't know what else. You know, if we were going to say once they got rid of Flacco, say they are tanking and they just want to evaluate quarterbacks. It's time to evaluate Shedeur. Give him a shot. What I mean, do we really think is Gabriel going to do better?
I don't care if they start Bailey Zappi, Brad. That's where I'm at with it. I don't care. Shedeur can start. He can play.
I hate this. We're going to have a conflict about this. I know it. I hate that you don't care to even see Shedeur.
I don't care. I don't
You
care who
don't
they
think he
start.
even has a chance, with the smallest chance?
I'm
to
not
have
trying to fight. I
show
think you think I'm
something.
fighting you on this. I don't care if he should play. He's next in
No, I
line.
know,
He
but
should
you
play.
say I don't care, like you have zero faith that he could ever be the answer.
Why should I, Brad? Why should I
don't
have faith?
know.
I don't know either. I'm asking you. If you're coming at me like,
Because
why don't you have faith?
You didn't. So you just hated his tape in
He
college.
can't
didn't think
beat
he had
out.
any
He
chance.
can't beat out Dylan Gabriel. Apparently, so why should
According
I
to
have faith?
Stefanski, who obviously is not doing a very good job making decisions in general.
We
period.
think that they're keeping the worst quarterback on the bench for no reason. Is that
I'm
what
not
we're doing?
saying that. We're not.
You are.
I'm not doing this.
You are
I'm
saying
not,
that.
I'm not doing
You
this again.
100% are saying that, because if you're saying that like I'm telling you he can't beat out Dylan Gabriel, and you're telling me he should be playing. So
but you're
I'm just saying.
taking the word for. You're just taking Stefanski's word. Then you're just taking him at his word that, well, in practice, by my evaluation, Gabriel's been better than Shedeur, so he doesn't even have a chance, because
I think it's
since
more
Gabriel
than Kevin.
can't
There's
do it,
probably a
Shedeur
lot of
can't
guys.
do it.
I'm just saying he can't beat out Dylan Gabriel, and I think that thinking that the Browns are like having this guy on the bench, it is crazy to sit there and think that the Browns and the whole franchise has Shedeur that's playing infinitely better than Dylan Gabriel at practice, looks better, plays better, is better, knows more, and they're like, you know what, we would rather play Dylan Gabriel.
I'm not saying he knows more. I'm saying he might be behind in process, but like, couldn't he get in the game and show you more as a passer and potential as
anything's possible? Shit, Bailey Zappi could show me more as a passer than Dylan Gabriel showed me. I just don't buy the conspiracy theory stuff on Shedeur. I'm not doing the conspiracy theory stuff on him.
It's not.
He can play.
It's not conspiracy theory. It's misevaluation.
You're saying that it's a misevaluation, so that then it turns into like a conspiracy that the Browns are holding Shedeur back. That's what it is.
I'm not saying they're holding him back on purpose. I'm saying Stefanski had Gabriel in front from the beginning because he took him ahead of him. Thought he was a better processor.
Yes, so
and
you're
all
saying
along has kept him in front. Gave him the playing time.
It's okay to admit you're on the conspiracy train.
I'm
you
not.
think they're holding him back. That's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying that the Browns are like it's obvious to everybody in the franchise that they can't.
I'm not saying that.
Then, brother, what are you saying? You're trying to live in both worlds.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that from the beginning, he's had Gabriel in front. And he kept him there all along, gave him the first shot.
Because he could probably do some basic things that Shedeur couldn't do.
Probably. But now that
they're not gonna. Let me be clear.
Okay,
like if Dylan can't go into the huddle and say a play, if Dylan can't make a check, if Dylan can't throw a swing pass, but Shedeur can do all those things, Shedeur would be in front of him. It doesn't matter where he was drafted.
That's fine. That's fine. So that's where they're at. Then he gets in the game. He's played 4 games now, and I'm saying that after 4 games, we know he's not an NFL quarterback as a starter.
Yeah,
okay?
Dylan stinks so far this year. 100%. So no argument.
Is it possible, though, that Shedeur has come far enough along now that he can operate an offense and have more of a talented arm and have a better feel for the NFL game once he gets in the game, a game plan for him, and show more than Gabriel?
It's possible, but that's not what you're talking about.
He went second. That's what I'm talking about.
No, you're saying that I'm
think
like
it's his turn
I don't have a gigantic ink. Like I don't care. Shedeur won't. The likelihood that Shedeur will be Brad. Why do like? I'm amazed that we're doing this.
You should want the next guy to do better.
The next guy is the guy they draft at the top of the first round next year. That's who matters. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Shedeur will play. I'm not going to sit here and be like, hell yeah, man, Shedeur's going to be the answer, and I can't wait to see it. I don't really care.
I'm not saying that either, but I want to see it.
He's going to play.
Gabriel.
He's going to play.
I know, but I want to see it after the bye week instead
I
of
want to
watching
see
Gabriel.
it whenever he's like got the best chance to be good. I guess. So I'm not putting like the timeline on something I don't know. He can't even play. He hurt his back, dude, this week. What? He can't even stay healthy when he's not playing real ball games.
Has that really been a knock on him? Is that he can't stay healthy? I thought he was tough.
We have evidence of this year. I'm like, dude, if he can't play,
he tweaked his back. Come on,
Brad. He couldn't play. He couldn't play. Are you lying? Do you think that they held him off the field today?
Let's take this very generous $50. Is that $50?
Yeah. Listen. God bless you.
The
person that did that, listen, Brad and I yell at each other because we have no one else to talk to in our lives. God bless you for that. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Brian, I am not a Deshaun lover. My takes are pointless. Thanks, Brian. I'm not a Deshaun lover. That's awful. By saying that I want to see Shedeur, I'm a Deshaun lover. That's a wild thing.
They're going to play him. I'm fine with them playing him. I'm just not excited about the prospect because I think he's walking into the same meat grinder that Dylan's in. That's what I think. I think he's set up to fail. This whole thing is set up to fail. Excuse me.
I think he'll handle it better.
The whole thing is set up to fail. I don't know how you arrive at that point personally, but God bless you.
Based off of college evaluation, I thought he was a better player than Gabriel.
I think he handles pressure worse than Gabriel.
That's fine, but they've been working with him on that, and maybe he does better. I don't know.
We're living in a world of maybe now.
Maybe.
One can't see, one runs backward 20 yards. Let's just get to the draft. Can we fast forward to the draft?
You're indicting him before he's even played it down yet.
Hey, you want to go off college tape as far as you're hopeful? I can't go off college tape for what I think the flaws are.
Okay, that's fair. Very fair.
Listen, I want nothing more than Shedeur Sanders to be the next Tom Brady. I swear to God.
Have we ever seen guys come from that were like second or third on depth charts come into games and light it up?
That's a good question, Brad. I don't know. As far as like,
isn't
Brock
Purdy a perfect example of that?
I got one for you. Isn't what Bailey Zappi did to the Browns a few years ago a perfect example of that in 22?
Not a long-term solution, though.
He was not, but he's here. Man, they should have given the Zap man a chance to really take it to his team, man. His old boys, the guys who gave up on him, they should have gave him a chance. They missed out on that. I am open to Shedeur Sanders playing. He's going to play. I hope the world for that young man. I truly, I want him to succeed. I don't know how you get to the arrival that any quarterback of this nature, whether it's what's the kid, Tyler Show in New Orleans, who hasn't played yet, right? Shuck, yep, that's right. Whether it's even Jackson Dart. I think you put about any quarterback in this system right now. You expect anyone expecting them to figure this out here this year. God bless you.
Yeah, I don't expect that.
I hope it works.
I don't expect that. I'm not even saying that he'll be great. I'm just saying I would rather see him because I think he has a better arm and he'll push the ball down the field at least, and he'll be more fun to watch than Gabriel. Check down Charlie with no traits. Can we?
I need people who are saying these things to recognize
for that question.
We will, but I want to make sure we understand what comprehension means here. Okay, no one's making excuses for anybody. Okay, I'm saying putting Shedeur in there and expecting a gigantic different result than what's going on with this offense because of what's around these guys is silly. It is set up for failure for whatever quarterback is in there. Do I think that it's possible Shedeur could play better than Dylan Gabriel? God, I hope so. Can it get worse? It's been awful from Dylan in large parts. The Vikings game was actually his one decent performance. The bar is super low. So I just am like, why are you not excited about Shedeur, Jake? Well, I just don't really see how this works out for any of these young men being thrown into this offense right now. Yeah, and I also recognize that Dylan's been playing really bad football too.
That's
on top of it.
Fair.
Hell, I made a whole video about how broken his vision was last week. So you're going to come at somebody else who thinks that they're being biased. I don't care. I don't care if a one-legged dude could figure out how to play quarterback for the Browns. It doesn't matter to me, but someone's got to do it. And I'm the one who watches this more than anybody outside of Berea, I think. I think I can have a pretty good feel for whether a quarterback's going to arrive in and have a chance to have some success with this group. So
that's fair.
That's where I'm at with it.
You are the most qualified to say that for sure.
I'm a loser. I watch way too much of this stuff.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
You're excellent at what you do, and that's a fact, and it's true.
I think it's going to suck for people who like Shedeur, who really believe in him. And I had a second round grade on him. Go back and look at it. Okay. I think it's going to suck when he arrives in this situation and he can't find success. Like they're not giving them the best chance to play. And that's what bothers me, because then what's going to happen, Brad? They took these two young men, and what's going to happen? They're going to draft a guy at the top of the first round, the next draft, and they're going to be forgotten. They're going to be lost. They're going to be trying to catch with another team or be backups here. That's it.
What if let me throw out this scenario to you.
All right, then we got to wrap it up. We've been yelling at each other too long.
Yeah, Evan, I'm sorry if we're emotional today, buddy. It is what it is. Appreciate the passion from both of you, win or lose. Mostly lose right now. Always love to hear you both provide your take on the team. Just don't y'all fall out over it. We're not falling out. I mean, we understand. I mean, it's not ever anything personal with me and Jake. We're just talking through the process. And you make a great point that it is 100% fair that you would understand this better than anybody about what the quarterback will be up against when he goes in there. I'm not even saying Shedeur will be great. I'm just saying I've seen enough of Dylan. I would rather see Shedeur after the bye. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
And I was saying I'd rather see Zap. I'd rather see anybody. And I'm with you. Shedeur's the answer. He's the second string quarterback. He's going to play. I was just kind of going hyperbolic and being like, I don't even care if I saw Zappy.
I don't care. And I was just like, well, isn't there a one in a bunch chance that maybe he looks better than Dylan? And
yeah, the bar is very low. He could look very much better than Dylan. Yes.
Look better than Dylan. And then come back next year. We say they go draft a high quarterback next year, but they don't want to start him right away. And over the offseason, Shedeur does a bunch of work, and maybe he starts a couple games next year as you know what I mean? Like, that's the opportunity that's potentially there for someone if they make progress. I mean, we are seeing guys in the NFL get better in their 9th year. So it's possible for guys to get better. Like Darnold was terrible for 5 years. Now he's great.
I think the thing I'm trying to say is Darnold was the 3rd pick in the draft. You get a runway, you get belief, you get second believers. I'm just saying Shedeur's going to play. If he's awesome, it'll all work itself out. Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be awesome. I'm just saying
I didn't say you did say that, Brad. I'm just trying to say if he's awesome, it'll work itself out. I'm just saying he will get a chance. He'll get it. No, it's not you, man. It's more of the discourse that gets around him. I want to see him play. I just am is it crazy for me to say that I think that any odds of anybody, whether if it was Zappy, I don't even care. He's only a quarterback on the roster.
Fair.
I think they're all screwed. No one's going to play well here. They're just not. In this offense, the way it's run, it's awful. And then I feel bad for Shedeur in the fact that if it does, say he has a good game, a bad game, a couple bad games, then another good game. And it's well, hey, we got the 3rd pick. We love Ty Simpson. We're going to take him. Then you go, the runway is long he's your guy. And then Shedeur maybe gets cut, maybe sticks around, maybe he's the best. He's not going to get a fair shake on because the NFL told Shedeur we don't want him as a backup by putting him in the 5th round, right? That's the whole thing that's there. We don't want him to be our starter. We don't want him to be our backup. That everybody passing him to be the backup. So then is he even going to get another chance to catch on somewhere? Yeah, that's where it sucks. For him, I think it's rough.
These guys all get 20 chances. Quarterbacks are hard to find.
I hope for him. Sure. I mean, it's a 5th round guy, and the league is taking a hard stance on it. I think that much is for certain.
That's the one thing that's hard to predict about him is that where the league stands with the rest of the league stands with him. Very peculiar stuff there.
Yeah. Maybe they throw Watson back out there and let him take some bullets behind this offense for a few weeks. No. I don't know. But that's the danger zone, man. I just am want the best for Shedeur, want the best for Dylan. Don't think Dylan's done anything to keep this job by a wide margin. Should be open to competition. And also recognize this is going into the NFL. This is playing the NFL's game on the hardest level. This is playing in the NFL as a quarterback on all Madden, right? That's where it is. So, there we go. We've covered it all. 5 sacks, Myles Garrett. Hell of a job. We love you, man. Great game. Sorry that most of your career is being spent on losing football teams.
What do you mean, Matty? I can't point out that I don't like their decisions. I'm not. No shit, you can't go back and change it. everybody in the world's talking about the decisions they make. What do you
All right, let's get out of here, guys. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. It is
don't have
emotional.
the DeLorean 1.21 gigawatts. We can't do it. Where we're going, Jake, we don't need roads.
They don't have a road to be on where they're going. It's all gravity induced, just taking them down. So that's it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to the venting session. And we will be back with more regularly scheduled Browns film breakdown content. Hopefully you took that FanDuel 7-point line, because you could have made some money if you faded the Browns again. So, but we did hit our parlay out the door. The part of the Browns film breakdown parlay of the week hit, cashed, money in your pocket if you took that. So if you're not seeing it, you should try to check that out.
First hit of the year.
We were due. We were hovering. We were one part off on every week, and then we finally got things to break the right direction. Anyway, guys, be well. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go Browns.